you're new to my channel, welcome to the journey. I really appreciate you being here. And if you aren't aware, I've actually been on my FIRE journey now for several years. If you don't know what FIRE means, basically it just means financial independence, retire early. If you aren't aware, I've actually been house sitting now for almost a year now. It's actually going to be a year in September. I'm actually at a house sit as we speak. However, prior to me house sitting, I was actually living in my car for almost a year and a half. So in today's video, I want to discuss how I'm actually leveraging house sitting in order to speed up the process of my early retirement. So let's get started. So back in April, I actually moved from Atlanta to Texas because I wanted to be closer to my job. Now, obviously this was more of a choice, my choice. So my job didn't make me move or anything. I just wanted to move somewhere where there would be no state income taxes, which has been a game changer because I've been able to save a little bit of money when it comes down to taxes. So back in June 2023, my job decided at the time to go fully remote. And so at the time of them going remote, I was actually watching a YouTuber, and I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all out there know who Stephanie Perry is. Anyway, Stephanie Perry is a YouTuber who has been house sitting for years, and she travels around the world and she basically goes from one house sit to another. And so when my job decided to completely go full remote, I was like, thank you, Jesus. So at first I started traveling and doing house sitting locally within the Texas area. And then I started to branch out a little bit more to Arizona, Colorado, Florida, Philly, and then, made my way back to Texas. So if you are interested, I'm going to walk you through the process as to how house sitting works. Now, as far as the setup, the process, it was very, very easy. You want to go ahead and head over to trustedhousesitters.com. I went to the website, I set up my profile, and I got a few references, and I actually used ChatGPT to help me write my profile and help it look all professional, if you know what I mean. So if you love animals, this is definitely a great way to have housing and accommodations. Now, of course, you don't actually get paid, so that's something to keep in mind. And I do get that question a lot. So you do have to have some type of income or a job or something. Like I said before, I work remote, so that's basically how I'm able to cover myself in regards to moving around and traveling and stuff like that. And obviously you are going to have to pay for your own transportation, so that's something to keep in mind. Now, you can use this site for either pet sitting, or in my case, I use it to find house sits locally. But the great thing about this site is that it's worldwide. So if you live in a bigger city such as California, Texas, Philadelphia, Chicago, you can easily find house sits. Or if you're planning on living overseas, this is another great way to find a lot of house sits outside of the US. And to give you an overall idea of how many house sits I've done, y'all, I have done over 25 house sits. So there's a lot of opportunity out there when it comes to booking these house sits, especially back to back. And like I said, it's worldwide. So you have all of this opportunity. You can even do this on the weekends if you wanted to. Once you create your account, you can go ahead and head over to profile. Next, you're going to want to go ahead and fill out this information, but we're going to use ChatGPT to help us fill this out so that we can sound a little bit more professional. I head over to ChatGPT, and I have the AI write me a few sentences for the About Me section. I give it a few keywords to add. And basically, ChatGPT does all the work. And now I go ahead and copy this information. Then I head back over to Trusted House Sitters. I can now go ahead and paste that in the About You section, and then head back over to ChatGPT to help me fill out my experience. And obviously you can go ahead and tailor the summary to fit your needs. And then go ahead and repeat the same steps like you did for the About You section, and do the same thing for your experience, as well as creating an introduction. Once everything is filled out, it's time to start applying for house sits. If we look at this map, you can actually see that the US has over 3,200 house sits. If we head over to the UK, you can see that they have just under 3,500 house sits. So as you can see, there's definitely a lot of opportunity out there. Overall, this has been very helpful because not only does this help me to plan out my trips, but it also helps me to have back-to-back house sits. Let's say you were planning on going to the United Kingdom for several weeks. The first thing I would do is find a place that fits the dates that you're looking for. Another thing that you want to do is check out the pictures, because at least with the pictures, it'll give you some idea of what the place is going to look like before you get there. Another thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that you read the reviews, because you don't want to show up and be blindsided. This is going to give you an overall idea about how the person really is, because you want to make sure that the house sit is going to be fairly decent, because not all house sits are created equal. So generally when it comes down to house sitting, I will not apply for house sits, especially if they don't have any reviews. It's just my preference. Your preference might be a little bit different, but this is just how I do things and have been doing things since I started. Overall, you just want to make sure you know your preferences and try to stick to them, because believe me, it will make this process a whole lot more easier for you, if you know what I mean. Once you reviewed everything, now it's time to go ahead and apply. You can also use ChatGPT to write you a quick introduction. Go ahead and submit. And from there, I usually make arrangements with the homeowner. We either do Zoom, FaceTime, or a phone call. Now, there have been instances where I have turned down house sits just because I was getting that gut feeling that something was off. You know, like they say, trust your gut instincts. So if something feels a little red flaggy to you, by all means, don't apply or don't accept the house sit, because again, you want to do things that is going to work for you and make this process as easy as possible. Please keep in mind that there is a fee. They do have 3 different plans. The first one is the premium combined. The next one is the standard combined. And lastly is the basic combined. Now, the one that I have is the premium combined, which is $399 a year. Now, I know this may seem like a lot of money, but believe me, the great thing about the plan that I have is I get unlimited house sits basically throughout the world. And not only that, I also get insurance coverage. So if something were to happen at one of the properties that I'm house sitting for, basically I'm covered for any types of damages that may occur on my time. So that's another reason why I decided to go with paying the higher fee versus paying the basic or the standard fees. Safety first. So if you are interested in signing up for Trusted House Sitters, definitely check out the description. I will leave a link for 25% off, so definitely check it out if this is something that interests you. So basically, when it comes down to my early retirement, I'm going to continue to keep leveraging house sitting, which is not only going to allow me to continue to keep saving money, I can also continue to keep reinvesting that money, building my retirement portfolio, as well as not running out of money throughout my retirement. So this is another benefit of leveraging house sitting as opposed to renting out an apartment or going out and buying a house right away. So overall, this is just one of the ways that I'm actually going to be able to save money throughout my retirement. So overall, my experience with house sitting has been amazing. Not only do I have a place to stay at throughout the week and a place to work, but I'm also able to travel. And spoiler alert, I'm actually here in Colorado as we speak, so yeah, so speaking of travel. So again, if you are living in your car or you're planning on retiring or you just want to change of scenery, I highly recommend house sitting. When I'm ready to get up and go to a new state, a new city, I literally could go on the app and I could just pick somewhere on the map and just get up and go. So it definitely gives you a lot of flexibility, a lot of freedom. So again, definitely check it out if that's something you want to look into. It's been an amazing journey for me. And I definitely believe it could be a great journey for you, especially if you love pets. So anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment down below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel as we drift into freedom together. See you soon. Say meow. I want to talk about the elephant in the room that seems to be becoming the new normal. See you in the next video.